By attending the remote Zoom meeting event, you agree to the public policy of Toastmasters International, as well as the unassociated remote hosting service. Some of your personal information, such as name or image and any shared messages, will be recorded. Your remote attendance hereby discharges Toastmasters International from all claims, demands, rights, promises, damages, and liabilities arising out of or in connection with the use or distribution of said video recording, including but not limited to any claims for invasion of privacy, appropriation of likeness, or defamation. We do this because we need to, we're not going to sell and make money out of your contact details, but we do this because it needs to be done. And to our host, I hand over to you to continue here.
Thank you so much, Granny B. And again, welcome to everybody on the chat to the social network Toastmasters Club. It is an honor this evening to host you, and I'm hoping that you would enjoy. Just to go through a bit of admin, if you want to call it, for this evening, TSN Toastmasters Club provides a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skill, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. So if you want to learn and grow, you are at the right place and the right time. Where possible, if somebody is speaking, try not to use the chat to type in messages. We can do that after the speaker, so we do not distract the person who's speaking. However, we can use the react button at the bottom of our screens. I think on the screens that you can see where you can use your reactions just to avoid distracting the speaker. And again, also you can see where you can mute, unmute, start your video, switch off your video on the screen presented there. Please remain muted unless requested to unmute. Feel free to keep your camera on. And then guests, please feel free. You are more than welcome to participate in this meeting. This is a space for all of us to learn, to develop. There's no need to shy. If you've got any questions, you are more than welcome to ask. You are more than welcome to participate in this meeting. Thank you so much for joining our first open house. Actually, it's my first since I joined the social network Toastmasters back in 2020. So it is an honor and a privilege to host you guys this evening. You could have decided that you want to spend your time with your friends, with your family, or anywhere else, but then you decided that it will be beneficial to be part of this event this evening. And one thing that I really like about Toastmasters is because we're learning every single day, and we continue to learn. And what I've realized over the years is that one can never stop learning. You are always a student, in your life. And in Toastmasters, even though it's kind of a different, learning environment, no test, nope, none of those things, but we learn in a different way. Do you really want to improve your communication skills? You are at the right place at the right time. Do you want to boost your confidence? You are at the right place at the right time. Also, your leadership skills. Also, if you really want to network with a lot of people, this is the place for you to be. And we get to know each other, and we get to develop ourselves. So welcome to the social network Toastmasters. I will hand it back over to the MC of the evening, who is Granny B. So I would really appreciate if we can unmute our mic and welcome Granny B to the virtual stage, the TSN way, if you really know the TSN way.
Hello, TSN members, visitors, family, and welcome to another evening of great excitement, great energy, and let's get connected. Tonight is a special night. We are having an open house. Now, what on earth is an open house? It's really, quite frankly, when you go to your front door and you open it up and you tell everybody, come and have a look at what I've got. So tonight we're saying to you, come and have a look what TSN, the Social Network Club, has to offer. Now, tonight, as we open our house to you, what is it that we would like to show you tonight? We are Toastmasters. No, it's not anything to do with toast. It's got nothing to do with old men drinking and clinging glasses. It's got all to do with young, vibrant people. And now I know you'll say, but what about this? Just ignore the gray hair. Inside, I'm still 21. Yeah, it's okay. And if you are 21 and you don't behave like me, then come and me give you some of my energy because I have way too much energy. Okay. Toastmasters. What is Toastmasters about? Today, we're going to discuss in this section that there are 4 basic pillars. Lots more to Toastmasters than that, but we want to cover at least 4 pillars. The first pillar is that of leadership. It is so wonderful, the leadership development capacities and opportunities that you have here. Just from a simple meeting like this, we normally have 2 people, and each of the 2 people will have their own groups that they take care of. Then, like a business, each club has a steering committee where you can learn to develop your leadership skills and whatever it is you need as an entrepreneur to grow yourself and to expand your business or to get yourself ready to become the MD of your organization. Let no corporate hold you back. Toastmasters is your place where you can practice and perfect. And before I go on to develop and grow you further as a leader, I would like to introduce our very first speaker. So in our program tonight, you're going to see an entry-level speaker, somebody that recently joined Toastmasters. Then you're going to experience a speaker that has been a Toastmaster for a while. And then you can see the developmental growth potential that's there for you. You're going to experience a few things that we do in Toastmasters, and you are going to be able to enjoy what's in it for you. So let's continue, and let me introduce our very first speaker for tonight. Our speaker for tonight, Ulrich, is our entry-level speaker, and he is going to present a speech entitled, I Am the Author of My Life. Now, you've just seen how we do it, so please get ready, unmute yourself, and let's make a noise for Ulrich!
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the author of my life. The pen and notebook is in my hand, and it is up to me whether I will be successful in my endeavors. One of the issues I've always had was the fear of standing up and speaking in front of others. When you want to be successful in anything, it takes practice, and practice makes perfect. When looking back at my life one day, I would like to leave a legacy, and it is up to me to write a story of growth and success. I was born in Marintal, a small town in the south of Namibia, and I'm the youngest of 5 children. Looking at my life, I do not suffer from the so-called last born syndrome, as I'm someone who is independent and determined to achieve my goals through hard work and my own effort. Growing up as the youngest child had its advantages and disadvantages. One of the advantages were that everyone else would take care of your needs. A disadvantage was that I could hardly make my own decisions without the interference of older siblings or my parents, at least in my opinion. Now, when I don't work, I enjoy spending time in the outdoors, exploring. I enjoy cycling. I enjoy traveling and have in the past visited various places, both local and abroad. One of the best moments I've had was when I lived as a student in the US for 2 years. I did not come home during holidays, but spent the time traveling and exploring various places and have visited 12 cities in 10 different states. This has helped enrich my cultural experience as I've met so many different people from various backgrounds. On the professional side, I'm a qualified teacher and have taught in the classroom for 10 years. I quit teaching, but continue working in education in the field of open and distance learning. Currently, I work for Namibia College of Open Learning, where we offer education to out of youth, adults, and youth. My job in the field of open and distance learning is one of my passions. The reason I joined the Toastmasters was to overcome the fears of public speaking and to grow in confidence. As a child, I struggled overcoming stage fright. This went on for a number of years into my youth and into adulthood. And I must say, with some of my previous experience and exposure to Toastmasters meetings, I've already grown so much and I've developed some of my leadership skills. For example, I am no longer afraid to speak in public. I've learned that with preparation, practice, and feedback from fellow Toastmasters, I can improve and eventually become confident. I also realized that having stage fright is so unnecessary because, especially at a platform like this, because it's such a safe place to learn and grow. And besides, there's no stage. I also joined because one can gain valuable skills which can be applied in the workplace. In my case, or in my job, it's often the case that I have to address our groups of learners, part-time or full-time staff, as well as making presentations at our various stakeholders. Toastmasters is just the right place to brush up on those much needed presentation skills, to develop and grow. And I want to encourage each of you to take up the challenge and allow yourself the opportunity to learn with Toastmasters, as you are guaranteed to come out stronger in character and knowledge. Madam Chair.
Wow, wow. For breaking the ice and being bold. Wow. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Now, if there's something we can associate with, is when somebody breaks the ice, because that's where we all come from. So really, here's my hand. Well done. High five. We are so excited about that, dear Ulrich. And may this be the beginning of a mighty, powerful walk for you.
Thank you.
And now I am going to move on to our next pillar. The next pillar of Toastmasters that I'm going to share with you about is that of speaking. So you just experienced the entry-level speaker, and now after this, we're going to introduce to you the more advanced speaker. And at any Toastmasters meeting, what you do find is the whole meeting really centers around the speeches. The speeches are the focus point of a meeting, and straight after that, there's that peer feedback that you receive. And a few other fun items in between, because yes, it's not Toastmasters if it's not fun. It has to have some fun to be Toastmasters. We don't learn without fun. Learning has to be associated with fun. Therefore, as a first pillar, it's leadership development opportunities you have. Second pillar is to develop your presentation skills, your communication skills within being a presenter, being a speaker. And now we move on to our second speaker for this evening, our more advanced speaker. Wame is going to present her speech entitled Home. Please, let's give a TSN welcome to Wame as she presents Home. Come on, TSN, make
What imagery comes to mind when you think of the word home? Is it just simply limited to the brick and mortar that makes up buildings that we call our homes? Or is it something that's slightly deeper? A place not just meant to shelter us from the elements, but a place where we can quite literally see ourselves grow. A place where you have family, where you have people who are actively interested in your personal development. A place where you can be free to be yourself. Make mistakes, knowing that somebody is out there looking out for you. I dare say, fellow Toastmasters and guests, that I found my forever home when I walked on the footsteps of Kaburole Toastmasters Club in 2019. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I joined Toastmasters in August of 2019. At the time, I was stuck in limbo, trying to figure out what it is exactly that I wanted to do with my life. Where was I going to take all this energy that was oozing inside of me that I wanted to share with the world? Funny enough, the answer came right to me through a friend of mine who suggested that I join Toastmasters. Toastmasters? What's that? She went on to tell me a very long soliloquy of what Toastmasters had to offer, and I thought, where leaders are made, build communication and leadership skills, that sounds like exactly what I needed at the time. A home. A home for my talents and skills. I eventually would go on to go and visit the Gaborone Toastmasters Club. I was sheepish at best when I first got there. I saw all these speakers who were so confident, eloquent in their conviction as they gave their speeches, and I knew that I wanted to be just like them. I saw the club president waltzing about the room, talking to all the members of the club, talking to complete strangers with such confidence, such conviction that I knew that I wanted to also one day lead much like that. It did, however, take me a while to eventually sign the form. That nervous I was about having to stand in front of an audience of then complete strangers and speak my mind. Have my voice be heard. It took me 2 months and almost 5 meetings for me to eventually say, you know what, I'm gonna do it. And so I signed up. And then it took me another 2 months for me to do my very first speech in Toastmasters, the icebreaker. I wrote it and rewrote it and wrote it once again, but I just couldn't convince myself that it was good enough. I had to use a reading aid when I gave my first speech. And at the end of it all, I got a resounding round of applause. I would later realize that they do this for all the speakers, so I'm not really sure if my speech was good or if that was just Toastmasters camaraderie. But that moment in time solidified my forever home. Beyond the brick and mortar of a physical structure that I could stay in, it was a place where I felt safe, where I would later band together with a community of other people who also had same like-minded wishes. I took that first speech as the way to propel me to become a better communicator and a better leader, and there I did not stop. From then onwards, I gave speech after speech, and I could quite literally see the positive development of my speaking abilities. I honed my skills, became comfortable in front of an audience, and gained a level of confidence that I never even knew I had. All simply because I took that one chance. And not long after that, when I'd cemented myself as a speaker, I needed to take charge of the second aspect of what Toastmasters has to offer. I needed to become a leader. And so I did. I joined one of the 7 members who are now part of the executive committee, and I'm currently serving as the president of Havana Toastmasters Club. Something that I didn't even think was possible when I first walked through the doors of my forever home. I won't lie, the journey has not been easy. You have to make time. You have to make a concerted decision that this is what you're going to be doing. Friday night, you could be out with your friends, enjoying yourself, but no, you decided to be here. A conscious decision of personal growth and development. I say to anybody who wants to become better at themselves, become a better individual, grow in a community of like-minded individuals, that this is the place for you. This could potentially be your home. So maybe next time when somebody asks you, what imagery comes to mind when you think of the concept home? You won't think of just the building, the brick and mortar, the physical structure that makes a home, but you will think of the place that has brought you here, that has brought you greater communication, closer to becoming a better version of yourself. Since joining Toastmasters, I have been flipped upside down. I've had myself tested in ways I never knew possible, yet I still stand here firmly 2.5 years later, and I cry and sing out the Toastmasters mantra, straight from the bottom of my toes to the very tips of my nicely growing dreadlocks. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I have found my forever home, Toastmasters International. And I invite you into my home so you too can enjoy the benefits of being a Toastmaster. Thank you. Back to you, Madam MC.
Whoa! Wow, that is so wonderful. Just look at your confidence. You are blossoming. You're just amazing, dear Wame. And I've seen you. And I have seen you in contest. You didn't even talk about how you were rising up through the levels in contest as well. So well done on your journey, Wame. And thank you for sharing it with such enthusiasm. And, you know, that's what is important, is that when we dig in, that we find the true value that's there in Toastmasters. This is when you were digging in that you started to find that as well. Well done on that, Wame. Thank you. And with that, we move on to pillar number 3. And pillar number 3 is peer feedback. It is so valuable. Peer feedback that we can receive immediately. And in a very particular, you know, when you bake a cake, you need a recipe, and we have a very particular recipe for peer feedback. We need to make sure that when we use our particular recipe for peer feedback, that there are certain key ingredients, the secret sauce of peer feedback is that we want to be positive and constructive. Now, if we wanted to make a recommendation, if there was something that I saw in Wame's presentation that I feel if she addressed that, it would improve, it would be to her advantage, then I make a recommendation. Therefore, it's not a fault finding or a critique session. It is, I have a heart to help you to excel. This is our safe place where we hold each other's hands now, even if we have to do it virtually, but we do it because we want to lift each other up, encourage each other, motivate each other, and see each other rise to success. Toastmasters is our practice ground. There's no other place where you can practice like this. And you have a safe environment with peers that understand what you're busy going through. Therefore, the pillar of leadership is crucial in learning how to lead. Just lead a volunteer organization and see it's not the easiest thing to do. And if you can lead a volunteer organization, you can lead anything, because that's where you learn to inspire action. To be able to make a presentation in front of others, you need the confidence. And this is where we practice at. And this is where we practice to give that constructive feedback. And right now we're going to go into the session of constructive feedback, where we will have our peer feedback presenters, one after the other one. The first one will give feedback on the introduction speech, the entry-level speech, and the second one will give feedback on the advanced speaker's speech. The two evaluators are Raosetene is going to evaluate Ulrich's speech, and Tanya is going to give peer feedback on Wame's speech. Let's begin by welcoming Raosetene. Let's give him a warm TSN. Woo, 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 woo. Yes, yes. Your turn.
Good evening. And I just would like to say something. You have mentioned that your speech is, I am the author of my life. And there's something that you said, that you are the youngest at home and they will always see you as the youngest at home. What is funny is that I am the youngest at home out of 9 of them, and I took a drive with my brother to the farm. And we got there around about 9, 10 or so at night. Because he's a farmer, he had to go and look at some of the goats that were unfound. He looked at me and said, "You remain behind." So after 4 decades, I am still regarded as, you are the youngest, you must remain behind. I understood what you said. Coming to your speech, I saw the use of your hands. I then realized that you are a teacher. You knew how to coordinate your hands. I saw that you were looking at the camera very, very religiously. And I took that, that is a positive one that I have seen on your speech. Your voice was very clear, and it could tell that you have got a background in teaching. Yes, you have got the best eye contact. Ulrich, you have seen the advanced speech. Please challenge yourself. That is the way to go. Me and you would like to see us there. Thank you very much. That was the very good introductory speech, and I am happy for you.
Good evening, everyone, and a special good evening to Wame for delivering your advanced speech. Well done. It was an excellent speech entitled Home. I saw you really use your hands purposefully in your speech as you went through various different stages in your speech. And also, one thing that you did excellently well at the beginning was asking questions in terms of how does everyone define home. You gave everyone an opportunity to identify themselves on the definition of home that works for them. So that was excellent. And that is good in terms of bringing your crowd and making them become part of the story that you're sharing, as they fit in that story, as they identify with it. You also then took us through your Toastmasters journey on how it led you to get to a point where you felt at home, and how the development you experienced in Toastmasters led to the stage where you are currently serving as club president, and all that you have learned along the journey. And in your speech, you were also encouraging, through sharing your story, participants or visitors are able to see, all right, so these are the different stages in the Toastmasters. You join, you sign up, and then you then do your icebreaker, and you keep on progressing until you take on a leadership role. And at the very end, you then also invited people to join your home of which this, and which is a good way in an open house session, because it is essentially the invitation for people to join your home. It goes with open house and home. So excellent for that. Another thing that I would encourage you on is to maybe just ask more questions towards the end that invite, that leave people thinking, all right, how can I also make this my home by joining Toastmasters? That is my peer feedback. What an excellent speech, Wame. I learned really a lot from listening to your speech and also evaluating you. Over to you, Madam MC.
Thank you so much for that most encouraging, uplifting, and constructive feedback. Well done. Please let's thank Tanya for what he has done, the way he has motivated. We are grateful. Thank you, Tanya. Now, if you had a look at what happened here tonight, you see what just happened. Somebody presented, and immediately there's feedback. There's something for them to be able to improve themselves or be encouraged about that they have done well so that they can move on to the next step. Well, within our learning and training environment, there is another aspect that is crucial and vital to learn. Have you ever been in a situation where they call it the elevator pitch, but there are some times when you at a meeting and somebody turns around, faces you, asks you a question, and you have to think on your feet. And all of a sudden, your mouth is dry, your mind is blank, and you feel the idiot. Well, this is the place where you can practice to get out of that zone. We have a very special time here that we call storytelling. And to tell us more about that and to prepare you more for that is our very own Sandani. And I'd like to ask us to, let's make a noise and welcome Sandani as she leads us into storytelling. Please help me welcome Sandani. All the way from Ireland.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Like Granny B mentioned, what we're going to do right now is what we call storytelling. What I'm going to do, I'll pick up any topic. I've got a list of topics here on my phone, and you can tell us a story. Like Granny B mentioned, think of a situation where you are at a work function, you are at a wedding, and somebody decided not to pitch in that wedding, and then they ask you to do a little bit of a story at that wedding. You were unprepared for it, but now you're going to have to talk because you cannot disappoint the family and everybody in the wedding. So this is what we're going to learn in a way of telling a story. And how I'm going to do it, number one, if you are more than willing or keen, you can unmute your mic and raise your hand, and I will give you a topic, and then you can share a story with us. If nobody is willing to unmute their mic and volunteer, I would have to unfortunately just pick up, anyone to give us a story. So I'm not sure if there's anybody who's willing to unmute and give it a try. You can raise your hand, you can unmute, whichever way that works with you.
Hi.
All right.
Hello.
I've got Marvin. Marvin, if you don't mind, can you switch on your video? Is that possible?
No, it's not possible.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
That is okay. Okay, fine. Marvin, the topic I have is that, tell us a story about your family that very few people know about. A story about your family that very few people know about. You kind of have like a minute or so to tell us that story.
Thank you, Sandani. I remember I came from work yesterday and I was feeling very tired, a bit demoralized, almost despondent. I walked in and I found my father, because I still stay at home, doing laundry. He's about 72, maybe, if I'm not wrong, years old. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's not always knowledgeable on your parents' ages. But I came into the house and I saw him doing laundry. My mother's a full-time nurse. She's past 60, so she does retirement work. I found him and I realized that we are never too old to help around us, because we are a whole car. We're a car together as a family. Everybody's important. Somebody's the wheels, the other person is the battery, the spark, for example. So it just gave me that motivation that we should never give up. And I think a lot of people don't know that my father still does laundry. That's why I chose that story. Thank you so much, Sandani.
Oh my gosh, Marvin, I love your father. I really, really love your father. That is awesome. It's a very, very nice and amazing story. And thank you so much, Marvin, for sharing that story with us, something that very few people know about your family. Do we have anybody else who volunteers to share something with us?
Smiso has their hand up.
Sorry, who is, oh, Smiso. Hi, Smiso, can you unmute your mic? If it's possible, you can also switch on your video.
Unfortunately, I won't be switching on my video because of network issues.
Okay, cool.
So I can unmute my mic.
No worries. Okay, that is okay. So, alrighty, here is your topic. Remember, you've got a minute or so to share that story with us, right? Tell us about your hobby.
All right. So Smiso Sikakane, besides work, besides school, what does she get up to? Fortunately for Smiso, she's got music talent in her. So what she'll do, she'll pick up her piano, hit a few keys here and there, find her vocals, and see if she can do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Sometimes she'll find that it's still within her. Sometimes she'll find that it's not, and she needs to practice it more, or rather, entertain her hobby even more. So that is what she'll do. If it's not the piano, a karaoke session will never do her wrong, because she'll go to YouTube, she'll search some of the best songs that she can karaoke to, and that is how she practices her hobby.
Thank you so much, Smiso, for sharing that. And I would really, really like to put it out there. Can you also be my friend? Because there was a time in my life where I decided to go for piano lesson and a vocal session, but for some reason I stopped. I don't know why, but maybe if you become my friend, so that passion, and the hope is gonna come back in my life again. Thank you so much for sharing your stories, Smiso. Do we have one? One last person. Okay, I'm going to do something that I didn't want to do. Can I ask Faith Mutanaka, are you keen to take one last topic?
Hi, I could give it a try.
All right, thank you so much, Faith. And actually, the one that I have for you is that tell us a story about yourself that very few people know about. A story about yourself that very few people know about.
All right, I'm trying to think of something that very few people know about me. Okay, so when I was really young, I searched within myself and found a keen interest in public speaking. And most of the times I would be weighed down because of the people around me. Being really young and yet being so confident put a spark on some people's lives, and it didn't always end so well. But I kept within myself that belief that I know that one day I will be a great public speaker. So oftentimes I'd get bullied and I'd lose that passion a little bit, but each time I'd still know there's something great within me. So I had a number of incidences where people would say, you don't fit for this, you don't qualify, and I'll be off the list, but I kept going and kept trying. And today I can proudly say that I take up any chance I'm given to speak in public, and very few people know about that. The past, and they think I had that courage like from way back and I never lose it. But well, here I am today.
Oh my word, that is so amazing, Faith, that courage, and stand up and say, I'm going to do public speaking no matter what. And here you are in Toastmasters, and you actually delivered a very good speech or a storytelling, if you want to put it like that. So thank you so much for sharing that very few people did not know about you. Mpho. Hi, Mpho.
Hello, how are you?
I am doing great. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
I'm good. You even switch on your video. Are you keen to take one last topic?
Okay, let me give it a shot.
Okay, cool. I'm looking here. All right. I don't know. This one, it depends if you have it, if you don't have it. Do you have a pet?
No, I used to. Perhaps I
Alrighty.
can talk about the one that I used to have.
Yes, then tell us about your pet, the one that you used to have.
Okay, thank you for the question. I used to have a pet. It was born in September 2009. His name was Happy. I actually got the name from a Korean drama. I liked this particular lady, I forgot her name. She had a dog called Happy. So I named my dog after her dog. We had a very good companion. Happy was so energetic and playful. He was so fond of me to a point where when I relocated to another place in the same town, I learned that in a 3-bedroom house, I was sharing that house with a particular lady. One thing that really stood out for me and that really gotten me to believe that actually dogs are a man's best friend was when I realized that Happy actually sleeps by my bedroom's window. I don't know how he managed to tell that this one amongst the 3 bedrooms, this one was my bedroom. Happy lived for 10 years. And because I was moving about a lot, he relocated with my sister when he was, I think, 9 years. He was, the breed was Tswana, a combination of Tswana and German Shepherd, the short breed. He stayed with my sister for the last year until he peacefully left us. He took his last breath while resting by the stoop in front of the door. May Happy soul continue to rest in peace. To this day, I don't know, maybe I still love Happy. I can't relate to anyone, any dog or any pet that can take Happy's place. I don't know, maybe I'm still mourning to this day. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Mpho, and may Happy soul continue to rest in peace. It seems like it was a very wonderful dog, and you built such a strong relationship with Happy. Thank you so much, Mpho, for sharing that story with us. And thank you so much to everybody who participated in the storytelling session. And I'm going to hand it over back to our MC, Granny B. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, much, Madam Storyteller. And thank you for taking us through a time of storytelling and helping people to think on their feet and making them comfortable with that. And as we continue to practice these storytelling techniques and capacities to think on our feet, to put our thinking on our feet in a structured way. And some of you were just so funny, and some of you had deep conversations that you learned to connect with your audience through your story. And now we have to recap where we come from. I've shared with you that within Toastmasters, it says where leaders are made. And there are just so many opportunities for you to learn and develop your leadership skills. And then we shared about the focus of a meeting being that of speaking, to really develop you as a speaker, to develop your presentation skills, to build the confidence you need so that you can walk into any boardroom and ace it. And then to receive that peer feedback that would grow you and build you up. And then into our storytelling. But now, having looked at Toastmasters and all the aspects of Toastmasters, here to share with us what's in it for you, please help me welcome Welile. Welile, we welcome you to TSN. Yeah, Welile.
If I were to ask you, and I need you to think about it for a moment, how many times have you done something for yourself? I mean, for you, not for us, not for we, not for them, for you. In the last week, month, quarter, a year, how many times? Something that will grow and benefit you. Think about that for a sec. Then think about how many times have you put down everything, rescheduled, scrambled to be there for your friend, your family, your boss, your colleagues, your neighbor, your churchmate, anybody. How many times have you been there for somebody? Didn't you just receive a call today asking you to be there for someone? Toastmasters makes you think before you do. I've asked you to think, how many times have you thought about yourself? Not a short-term kind of thinking, not a let me go buy pizza for me, let me go and get a movie for me, but investing in yourself so that you can grow, you can develop, you can be enhanced, you can be reskilled or upskilled. How many times have you done that? I want to put it to you that Toastmasters offers you a fun, exciting, but very serious opportunity for you to invest in yourself and grow. How does this happen? First, whether or not you become a member, you will grow. Even if you sneak into our meetings, you will grow. Even if you stay for 10 minutes, you will grow. Imagine being a member of Toastmasters. You will definitely grow self and then grow others. Why? Toastmasters, by its very nature, allows you to get out of your comfort zone within a safe environment. Put yourself out there, put your fears out there, and now allow you to grow. Amongst your peers, you take a walk down the uncomfortable road and learn about things that you would not have learned if you had not been in a Toastmasters meeting or a Toastmasters club. Imagine knowing for a fact that you've got a speaker within you, a singer within you, an actor within you, a motivational speaker within you, an influencer or an impactor within you, but you just cannot get it out. People don't see it. They don't see this wonderful, awesome mover and shaker. Toastmasters allows people's blinkers to be removed so that they can see you for who you are. That untapped potential is shaken, grown, and is brought out into the public domain. I joined Toastmasters not because I couldn't speak. I could speak. But I knew within myself that I could do better. That's number one. Number two, I had insecurities about what I was doing. I could speak, but people just got lost about what I was trying to say. Until Toastmasters introduced me to the art and the science of speaking and leadership. You learn to lead yourself so that you can lead others. If you don't know yourself, how you communicate, how you lead, how you respond to stimuli and triggers, you won't be able to engage with others. You won't be able to be seen or heard. That's what Toastmasters taught me. I learned that speaking is not enough, but you need to speak with purpose and intent. I learned that doing is not enough, but you need to do with excellence, and you need to show up with impact. That's what Toastmasters taught me. What can Toastmasters teach you? First, let me explain it by making a contra between your traditional learning and the unique offering of Toastmasters. At a traditional classroom or learning institution, you enroll, you attend the class, there's lecturers, there's blogs, there's online, and you learn for a predetermined period. So a year, 2 years, 5 years, however long your degree or whatever it is that you're doing is. You get the notes, you get lectured. Yes, you'll meet other students, but your primary teacher is your facilitator or your lecturer. Then they set a date for exams and tests, and you write them. After you write them, you get your score, and then you leave. It's over, it's finished. Toastmasters, firstly, is for an unlimited time. What do I mean? It allows you to walk this journey of learning without closing the door, without telling you there's an expiry date. As long as you're subscribed, as long as you're a member, you've got doors unopened. This is a classroom that never closes. Second, Toastmasters in its uniqueness offers experiential learning. So you learn by doing. Every single time you step up into a meeting, you come to practice. How many times do you get to practice? Think about it. At work, do you practice your leadership? Do you practice your presentation? How many times? What platforms give you practice time? I don't know of any other. I know of excellent universities and colleges and institutions that will teach us public speaking and leadership skills. But I don't know these that can teach you. Practice, practice, practice. All you need to do is show up. Benjamin Franklin said, "Tell me, and I forget. Teach me, I may learn. Involve me, I will learn." Toastmasters teaches you the science of involvement, of participation. You play a dual role. You're both teacher and student in one session. Does that happen in a traditional setup? I don't think so. When you come to a Toastmasters meeting, when you give your speech, when you take up a role, you are learning, but someone else who's watching you is also learning from you. So even if you are the most selfish individual in the world, you still teach others without actually saying, hi, my name is Welile, and I will teach you how to speak. I will teach you how to pause. I will teach you how to deliver a stellar feedback to your colleagues. Confidence is the one thing that I struggled with. People thought I was confident, but I'm talking about what I will term as toast confidence. Toast confidence is the kind of confidence that Toastmasters brings out in you. It's purposeful, it's with intent. It's not a braggish type of confidence or an arrogant type of confidence. It's the kind of confidence that allows you to take a step back, reflect, and just walk very slowly towards your goal. It bridges the gap between your potential and your actual, and that's what Toastmasters gives you. Remember, confidence is not built. It's not built over theory. It's built over time, and it's built practically by practice. And this is what Toastmasters gives you. Leadership. It brings out the lion in you. It's not the biggest animal in the jungle, but everyone understands that the lion is king. And trust me, you are king of your own space. And that is what Toastmasters will teach you, just like it continues to teach me. It also teaches you how to have a healthy relationship to feedback and competition. I had a horrible relationship with those two. I did not compete, or I overcompeted. I did not know how to lose graciously. I didn't even know how to win graciously. I was too brash and arrogant when I won, and I was too crushed when I lost. But Toastmasters, through the various competitions that we are given opportunity to be a part of, taught me a healthy relationship to competition. And feedback. I couldn't give it properly, and I sure didn't receive it well. But I learned that feedback is the breakfast of champions, and I learned that at Toastmasters. I won't even speak about communication, because we are talking, and we are talking to be heard. Doesn't matter what you do, doesn't matter how you do it. If you're unable to articulate that which you do, people often don't see that which you do. So let's reflect for a second. There's many free or even expensive, very good institutions that will offer excellent programs. It is only Toastmasters that will give you unlimited time, experiential learning, confidence, leadership, communication, all in a single package. Interpersonal communication, leadership skills that are unparalleled, a networking opportunity against a vast number of countries. But please remember, Toastmasters is not a hospital for the speech impaired, nor is it a hospital for bad leaders, but it offers like-minded individuals an opportunity to grow together and to grow each other, to be better us, better yous, if there's anything like that. What is it? What's in it for you? A better you, an impactful you, a you that shows up on time, in season, impactful and relevant. It starts with a single step, this journey of 1,000 miles. Take it, grab it. You will never be the same. All you need to do is join a club that is near you. Welcome to the Toastmasters family and a new, brand new version of you. Thank you, MC.
Thank you, Welile, for sharing with us such a wealth of what's in it for us. I'm going to just paste a link in the chat box now. And I would like to say, if you say, I really would like to join Toastmasters, and you don't know what to do, in the chat box is a link that will take you to a Google form. All we ask for is just your immediate information, name, telephone number, address, just the basics that we can put on. Look, I don't know about you, but please give me, I want to have a look here if there are any people in the house that are like me. Is there anybody in the house that hates filling in forms? Can I have some reaction, some emoji, some sound, some noise? Anybody? Is there anybody that hates filling in forms? Or is it just me? Oh, I get some reaction. Yes, there's others. I have brothers and sisters. I hate filling in forms. Well, that's the reason why we ask you just to put the basics down, because then we can kind of help you get started with the form, and there's very little left for you to do in filling in that form. So please click on the link if you would like to become a member. And now you're going to say, yeah, but now you just told us what to do, but how much is it going to cost us? Let me share the costs with you. It does differ from club to club. Some clubs' costs need to be calculated within it. So do understand that you might not necessarily have the same fees everywhere you go, but they have similarities to them, because we all pay the same amount to Toastmasters International, where you become the member, and we potentially add a portion extra in order for our club to be able to contain itself. I mean, business is business. If you become part of the leaders on a club, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you need to become on the board of a club so that you can learn how to handle business. Whether it is a nonprofit, it needs to be able to survive. Everything needs to survive. And so we do calculate that in. So here it is. Are you listening? Are you ready? On the form, it tells you that as well. So if you fill in the form, very last one tells you membership type. If you are a brand new member, to join for this month of June, it is $50 translated into rands, approximately 800. So we're saying an 800 fee. And what does that involve? It is for the month of June, July, August, and September that you are paying membership plus your one-time membership fee that you need to pay. If you're an existing member and you would like to come back as a Toastmaster, you haven't been a Toastmaster for a while, and you say, I really need to get back, then you do not need to pay that initial fee. That means it brings it down a bit. Yours is only 500 Rand that you need to pay. The payment details of how it's done, we will get back to you on that. Just fill the form in that we can get your details, and we will get back to you and take you further. So don't worry, once you've filled in that form, we haven't put a noose around your neck for the rest of your life. But that helps us to get started on the journey together. I'd like to know from those of you that are here in the house tonight, is there anybody that says, I think this is where I need to be? Is there anybody that would like to put up your thumb and say, this is where I'd like to be? Who would like to be a Toastmaster? Put up your thumb. Let's have a look. Is there anyone tonight that says, I'd like to be a Toastmaster? I need somebody to contact me and take me on this journey. We would like to be able to make sure that we can allocate someone, because remember, Toastmasters is about that safe place. We want to be able to take you on that journey. We want to be able to coordinate you and orientate you so that you can be the very best you. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the end of this showcase of Toastmasters. I trust tonight you've learned that within Toastmasters, there's so much to learn. And that we love to have fun. It's not just that formality. If you've noticed, I'm not the formal kind. even though I've been CEO and MD of companies, I've never been the formal kind. And that's why I love Toastmasters, because I can be me. So welcome to a place where you can be you. And I hope you have an amazing weekend. Please make sure you've clicked the link, or make sure that at the chat box, there are 3 little dots. If you click on that, there is a right at the top, save the chat. And that will help you to be able to save the link, and then you can click on it a bit later. I would like to hear, is there anyone that would like to ask a question or share something before we close off this meeting?
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I just wanted to express my gratitude in tonight's meeting and saying thank you so much for a very fruitful session, and to all the speakers who shed light on very important factors in growth and development in an individual. So thank you very much. And it's nice to learn new terminology in terms of roles in Toastmasters. So I am from Dina Lady Toastmasters Club, and you know, when we refer to evaluators, we refer to speech evaluations, and then it's nice to know that you refer to it as peer feedback, and table topics is according to you storytelling. So I really enjoyed hearing that, because one can then switch and use other terminology, and that was nice. But overall, thank you so much for such a beautiful session. And I have definitely, as Welile said, I have definitely learned, and I've been a student. And I hope during my storytelling, someone was learned from me. So thank you.
Wonderful, Smiso. Thank you for that feedback. And I just want you to understand, when we do an open house, we look at using terminologies that people can immediately understand what we're doing. When they continue coming to our meetings, we use the normal Toastmasters terms, but then it's not so overwhelming to them, because this is a gentle approach into Toastmasters. And one more thing, Smiso, that I hope you noticed here. One of the things that we haven't done is use Toastmasters acronyms and Toastmasters like announcing this is the important dignitaries in the house. We just used first names and we made it as smooth as possible. That way, it makes it easier for people to understand and receive what we are doing. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this meeting. We really enjoyed having you here. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to carry on chatting, the meeting has already officially closed long ago. We are just the social network, and we like to be social. So if you want to stay and chat, you're welcome for a few more minutes, else if you need to go, you are welcome to go.